Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start putting up a tile in our bathroom shower. So let me show you where we started. First thing is, this is our tile. It's 4 by 15 3/4, and we set up my laser this morning. And what we found is, and not to our surprise, this tub, even though it's level, it's not flat. 3 7/8, and then right here by Jordan. Look at that, 3 3/8. So we just can't set this tile on here and start tiling because the tiles won't be straight or level. So we established this line, and that's going to be the top of our tile. This is where it's the widest right here. This piece of plywood is the straight edge we use to get the walls plumb. I ripped a clean edge on it this morning. And we're going to screw it to the wall, just like that. Then our second row of tile will go on there. Once that sets up, we'll come back and custom fit these tiles as we need to. Does that make sense? Now, to put this plywood on means I got to put a screw through our waterproofing and our backer board that we spent so much time getting perfect. And take a look how nice that is. The alternative is to stack this, put some shims under here, but then this always seems to fall. The pros have aluminum straight edges. I actually used to have a set, but I don't anymore. So this is going to work fine for us today. So let's screw this to the wall, and then I'm going to protect this tub again, and Jordan's going to go outside, mix the Thinset, and set up the tile saw, and we'll get going. Oh, and let me show you this. Look what I did for Jordan. I put a plug in. It's the simple things in life. We usually do our whole remodel with, one plug, on the other side of the house, but we have one in the room now. So, all right, let's get to work. Hey, before we start tiling inside, we're going to do a little test out here for Thinset coverage on the back of our tile. So I'm just going to start with this one. That looks like to be about a 1/4 by 1/4. Like that. That's pretty good. Getting pretty good coverage right there. 100% here. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to try this one. I think I like that a little better. Yep, I can already tell just peeling it up. That's better. Let's use this one. All right, so we'll clean the back of these, and we're ready to go. We're ready for our first tile. So we do directional troweling. So it's all in one direction. So when you put the tile up like this, the air can escape on the short dimension. And then I also got my margin trowel, and I cleaned off the piece of plywood so I don't get a lot of buildup there. So we're ready to go. And then we also pulled tile from 3 boxes. That's a good idea on any type of flooring, laminate flooring, tile. Work from several boxes at a time so you don't get a color mismatch. So on this one, I'm tight here, and I'm going to push it to the right to establish my grout line. That's going to go quick, bud. So George just gave you some close-ups of this niche. So you can see right here that way back in the framing stage of the niche, we did our tile layout so that this grout joint was even or lined up with our trim right here and also at the top. You just got to measure, be careful, and then I went a little deep here. See how deep it is? So I'll just fill this in with Thinset and get it perfect once this dries. And then the other thing, when we did our layout, we didn't want these joints like right here and end up with a small piece. So the layout, it almost just goes just like that, right through the niche, and the back of the niche will pick up that same layout. So we're going to go ahead and continue and finish this wall. If you're liking the video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't already. Thinset is setting up, so it's the perfect time to use it to fill in right here and to set this shelf. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, gang, I have a confession to make. Secretly behind my truck, between the fence by the garbage cans, I weigh my Thinset. I know I'm going to hear it from my buddy Devin and the professional installers out there, but I can easily cut a bag in half, mix it, but I'm working alone right now. I cannot work fast enough to use it. I throw away a lot of Thinset. So right now I just mixed up a third of a bag, and I'm going to try that out. So this scale was $9, and nice thing, it's got a little adjustment dial on it. You can tear it out to 0. I did the math on the water, and there we go. That's a third of a bag. I know I can use that before it starts to go bad. So hit me with your comments. I'm ready. All right, gang, check this out. I use my laser. Here, it's a Bosch. There, I can't read that. Hopefully you can. And then this is the pole that goes on. It telescopes to very tall ceilings. What is it? A Bosch BP350. It's made just to hold a laser. But I used it to install this piece of trim first. You can see, get my arm out of the way there. I can't tell you how easy that is. Instead of using a level, you got to get yourself a laser. I've done a bunch of showers, but this is the first time I've laid tile with a laser, and it is a game changer. So you can see I've got my board set already, and I'm ready to lay tile. So I'm going to try to put you in time lapse, and here we go. I'm not sure if the time lapse worked. The GoPro kept beeping, so I apologize if it didn't work. But here's where I'm at. I finished this wall with that 1/3 of a bucket of Thinset, and that seems to work just perfect for me. I got very little left, so very little waste before it hardens. So tomorrow we'll do the plumbing wall, and then I have the top here to rip and fit, and this row right down there, and then I've got the top of the niche and the right hand side. And then you can see the pattern. It kind of stair steps around and wraps around the back wall. And then in the niche, the pattern lines up also. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to clean up and get out of here, and we'll see you in the morning. All right, gang, we're closing in on this tile. But we wanted to show you how we're going to put the top in on the niche. Can you get up here, Jordan? So I used the margin trowel and I just did a thin coat on the waterproofing membrane so that this would bond to it really nicely. So we've got about 3/4 of an inch to fill in. So I'm just estimating this. It's high in the middle. It should squeeze out just fine. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so I'm making contact and I got to go up about another 1/16. I'll put a little more mud on there. All right, now I'm making contact. Push it up. Nice. Got our wood. Let's see, will it stay? You were right.
Yeah, I knew it would stay.
I'm going to use these as little props. Just like that.
Nice. Ooh.
Yeah, that came out great. We should do it like that. So the wood's hitting our piece of trim right here, and then it's also holding up the tile. So the bottom of the tile is flush.
Sweet. Whew, is that the last one?
That is the last piece, dude.
Whew. All right, that was 210 pieces of relatively small tile, but it looks phenomenal. We'll save the glamour shots till after we're done grouting, but you want to do the honors and put it in?
I'd love to.
All right.
Here we go.
Woo! Check that out. But that's all we're showing them though.
That's all we're going to show them?
Right.
All right. So we're going to let this Thinset harden overnight. We're going to come back tomorrow and grout it. Hey gang, it's the next day. We've already got a lot done this morning. Let us get you up to speed. So over here, we've already lightly sanded and gave all the cabinets and drawers and door fronts a second coat of primer with our airless. The reason I wanted to do a second coat of primer was because we had some repairs to do with some spackling, and I didn't want our finish coat of paint to absorb differently where those repairs were in the raw spackling than they did where the doors were primed. So now all our repairs have a coat of primer too. We'll get a nice finish coat with our cobalt blue. Over here, Jordan's already mixed up our grout. This is what we're using, Prism. It's a bright white. While it was slaking, actually, I was inside spraying. Jordan got this going. So let's take you inside and get you up to speed in the bathroom. Now we're here inside. Here's our cabinet with its second coat of primer. It's looking great. But the grout waits for no one, so I gotta get started. You can see right here, we take this off just to keep most of it off the wall. So let's get going.
All right.
We don't want to show you too much. Wait for the final reveal on that. All right, gang, the grouting is done, but full disclosure, that was probably the most difficult grouting job we've done. Wouldn't you say, Jordan?
There was a point where we knew that we were against the clock and that it was bad. So we shut the camera off.
Yep.
And we just had to get it done. We could not focus on filming it, unfortunately.
No, I had visions of going to get grout removal blades for the buzzsaw and pulling it all out.
Seriously though.
But I had not, by the time I got halfway up this wall and dipped my grout float in the bucket for more, it was already getting hard.
And we started there. It's not like we started over here. We started there, and by the time we were there, it was getting hard.
And the temperature of the grout was warmer than any I've ever seen. It's a chemical reaction. It's called hydration, just like concrete hardens and all that. But so we add a little more water, had to keep mixing. Jordan mixed it and kept it workable for me as I put it up. And it was just, if we'd have had 2 more guys, it would have just been all hands on deck.
Sure.
But we saved it. It looks great.
It looks really good.
Yep. And tomorrow when we get here, this will be the same color as that. It's a bright white. You can tell right here it's already drying.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, why don't we tell them what it was like what they missed on film, because I think that's important. I mean, everything was covered in grout.
Yep.
It looked really rough. Mm-hmm. And we had the Scotch-Brite pads.
Right.
And you had the sponge and I had the pad, and we essentially had to sand. It's what it felt like, each joint.
Yep.
Like each line, vertical and horizontal, had to get its own special treatment.
We went through and did all the verticals on a row, and then did this one. So we didn't miss anything. Then did all these.
We had to dip it in water and come back, get it wet, go really hard.
I was soaked.
In water and sweat.
Yep.
You still are.
We're actually reshooting this because I was so out of breath on the other one, I couldn't even talk.
Yeah. It was tough. It was really sucky.
Yeah, the last time we did wall tile was the backsplash on that kitchen, and that was like the best grout that we've ever done.
Right.
We had a subscriber named Kevin tell us to use a pre-mixed grout, and I think that's just what we're going to do from now on. On a floor, it seems to be okay.
Yeah.
But on these wall tiles that are typically smaller than floor tile, it was a bear, I tell you.
Yeah, but we had to put our heads down and just get it done because we knew we were against the clock and there was really no other option besides. It was either do it now and get it finished to make it look good, or it was go to the store, get a blade, and remove it, which would have set us back 2 days probably.
Yeah. It's 4:30. We just ate lunch. We didn't stop for anything.
Nope.
My phone was ringing. Nothing.
Well, that's not anything different.
That's true. All right. Well, that is done. So if you like the video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment down below if you've ever experienced anything like this before, and if you were able to save the grout, or if you actually had to do it over. And if you haven't subscribed already, we would really appreciate that. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, sir.